The long-held rules of digital visibility, the engine that drove the internet for decades, they're crumbling.
Yeah.
We keep seeing this theme pop up, but one headline from our late November sources is, well, it's startling. SEO is dead.
That claim, I mean, it fundamentally changes how businesses have to operate online.
It absolutely does. And what's fascinating here, and the reason we're diving into this, is that the speed of innovation is just incredible. The data we pulled is from just a few weeks in late 2025. It forces us to look past theory and focus purely on, what's working right now. This isn't just news. It's a guide.
So our mission today is really to give you that operational shortcut. We're going to dive into three high-stakes battles. First, this intense video war between Veo 3.1 and Sora 2. Second, how Google's new free AI tools and Gemini 3 are utterly destroying technical benchmarks. But, and this is strange, they're facing a creative hurdle.
And finally, we'll outline the 5 new rules that are replacing these obsolete concepts like backlinks. It truly is like watching new data stacks being built in real time, block by block, just replacing that old foundation entirely. Okay, let's start with that tectonic shift in digital visibility. If SEO is dead, what did the sources say was the mechanism that actually killed it? I mean, why are concepts like backlinks suddenly obsolete, and how is this zero-click search taking over?
Well, the old system was killed by its own predictability. Backlinks were supposed to be a popularity signal, but they were just too easy to game. You had these high-volume content farms or, these complex link wheels. The latest generation of AI, it doesn't prioritize that kind of popularity. It prioritizes verifiable truth, expertise.
And the mechanism for that is the zero-click search.
Exactly. When a large model just summarizes the answer for you directly, that's the zero-click, it has to rely on content with the highest intrinsic value. It's prioritizing stuff that directly answers the query, and it's smart enough to filter out those manipulative link structures.
So all the old tricks like link wheels or buying expired domains, they're just gone.
Pretty much. We're moving from what was a link economy to more of a trust economy, where authority has to be transparently earned.
So if you're a creator, what do you build now, if not links? What are these 5 new rules?
So the sources detail 5 crucial trends replacing SEO in 2026. And beyond just generic ideas, the key elements are, first, citation modeling. This means the AI can explicitly verify and reference your material. Then there's visual authority scoring, where multimodal AI actually judges the quality and originality of your images and video.
Okay, so it's not just text anymore.
Not at all.
Okay.
And that leads to the third one, multi-format deployment, proving your expertise across text, video, and audio all at the same time.
What are the last 2?
We're also seeing semantic density, so content is valued by how many relevant concepts it covers, not just how many keywords you stuffed in, and expert interview indexing. This is where AI prioritizes content that features verifiable, named experts. It's how it measures authority.
That depth, it connects directly to this idea of an AI content engine. The old system was so slow. You'd write something, build links, and I'd just wait. The new system is rapid. You take one authoritative idea and turn it into blogs, videos, social posts, almost instantly. The emphasis is on deploying it everywhere fast, not slowly acquiring links.
Right. If traditional SEO metrics are pretty much useless now, what does a creator need to focus on to prove they have true authority?
I think it's that authority has to be demonstrable and intrinsic, not just purely algorithmic. Okay, let's talk about creative output, because the data here really flips the script. Let's look at this creative consistency challenge, starting with the video generation race. We have a direct comparison. Veo 3.1 versus Sora 2.
Yeah, and the comparison isn't about which one looks, slightly prettier in a 5-second demo reel. It's about the operational reality. The sources break down which workflow actually fits your style and your budget. Veo 3.1 often excels at really complex camera movements, that cinematic flair, but it can get expensive. Sora 2, on the other hand, is noted for its superior, reliable character consistency over longer sequences.
Which is often more useful for serial content creators.
Exactly. They're optimizing for different professional constraints.
That focus on consistency, the ability to keep the same character, the same lighting, the same style across hundreds of generations, that's key. And this brings us to a huge claim about a free Google AI tool called Nano Banana.
Yes, and the source material was pretty blunt about it. It said, forget Midjourney, forget Photoshop. Nano Banana is Google's new free consistency-focused image generator. And it reportedly beats Midjourney specifically on that critical metric of consistency.
That's a massive shift. I mean, professional, scaled, creative work lives and dies by character integrity.
Yeah.
If your main character's face changes shape or their shirt color is different between images, The tool is useless for production.
Exactly. Consistency is the holy grail. And the sources even give these advanced pro tips for Nano Banana users. They say you have to master precise aspect ratio commands and optimize your batching process to lock in that initial look.
So it still comes down to prompt engineering and just workflow discipline.
Oh, yeah. I'll admit, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself when I'm trying to maintain a character across a bunch of images. It's a frustrating real-world struggle. So a free tool that promises to solve that operational consistency problem is, well, it's instantly invaluable to a production team.
And before we move on from creative, we have to give a quick mention to Claude Psychopus 4.5. The sources call this one the slow model superhero.
A great name.
Right. It's a specialized, efficiency-focused model that's optimized for producing viral, automated AI faceless videos, which just highlights how specialized even the most niche creative tools are becoming.
So given all these powerful tools, does success now rely more on workflow consistency than just pure generative power?
I'd say so. Workflow and constraints are critical for professional, scalable AI output. Okay, segment 3, Google strikes back. After seeing their push on the creative side with Nano Banana, we see them attacking the technical benchmarks with Gemini 3.0. The sources are showing Gemini benchmarks just destroying the competition, specifically in one-shot coding and critically deep reasoning features.
And this is where we see that true specialization in the AI data stacks. Deep reasoning means Gemini can handle these vast contextual queries, linking documents that seem totally disparate and drawing novel conclusions. It's performing actual synthesis, not just summarization.
But there is a catch, isn't there? The sources outline 3 critical facts about Gemini 3. It's crushing technical benchmarks like GPT-5, but it reportedly fails at creativity.
Yes. It excels at being a strict analyst. Research, data correlation, contextual analysis. But when you ask it to write a compelling fictional story or imagine some artistic scenario, it lags way behind the competition. Its focus on verifiable data just makes it less imaginative.
Whoa. Imagine scaling deep reasoning like that. It's like watching a knowledge engine process a billion query stacks instantly. I mean, that has a profound implications for academic research, for high-level business intelligence.
It creates a new standard for a truth-seeking AI. But, we have to be critical. Relying entirely on one knowledge engine, even one this powerful, creates massive centralization risks. That's something that needs to be watched very closely.
So specialization is key. If Gemini handles the reasoning, what is Google offering for free to handle all the day-to-day work?
This is Google leveraging its massive ecosystem. They're releasing 7 powerful free AI tools. This just removes the cost barrier for advanced productivity tasks, pushing everyone onto their platform.
Okay, let's break down a few of those. What are the essential free tools?
Well, we saw Opal, which is for rapid, low-code app building right inside the Google ecosystem. There's Pomeli, which focuses on generating full, targeted social media campaigns from just a single prompt. And crucially, Gemini TTS, which provides professional-grade audio text speech. It's a direct challenge to the paid services.
What else is in that free stack?
There's also Project Aura, which focuses on ambient AI assistance in meeting transcripts, Code Whisperer Lite, offering basic predictive coding suggestions, and a couple others, Context Manager for cleaning up documents, and Search Synthesizer, which dramatically reduces hallucination in search answers. This is Google building out its operating system with free, powerful AI.
It sounds like they're building this vertically integrated workflow, forcing everyone else to try and compete with a free, high-quality stack.
Right. So if Gemini 3 Pro is the research champion, how should users structure their queries to maximize its reasoning strength?
You have to treat it like a strict analyst, demanding deep contextual analysis. Switching gears a little bit, let's talk about the user side of this. How do people even learn to use these highly specialized tools effectively? The Notebook LM study in our sources gives a really crucial template for academic rigor in AI learning.
Yeah, and we should really view this section as a guide to input hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about Notebook LM as a tool. It's about understanding how to interact with any large reasoning model like Gemini 3. The manual breaks down that crucial setup process for integrating your source documents into the AI.
And it highlights a massive common mistake that beginners make when they're using source documents.
The number one mistake is assuming the AI is an expert outside of the text you provide. Thinking the AI will just fill in the contextual gaps. If you feed it a weak or conflicting source stack, a messy data stack, the output is going to reflect that confusion. It demands a clean, authoritative input stack to work right.
That's so critical for anyone relying on AI for research. You have to be the curator of truth first.
Exactly. And the most advanced insight they shared is the exact sequence of commands that forces the AI to test you, like a strict professor. It makes it an active learning partner.
So what are those 3 specific commands?
First, you command it to synthesize and critique the source materials you gave it. Second, you demand it identify and challenge the weakest point in your sources, or even in your premise. And third, you tell it to develop a quiz based only on the synthesis it just performed.
Wow. That sequence shifts the dynamic completely. It moves the AI past just passive summarization and forces it to prove it can connect the dots and challenge assumptions. That's essential for validating the quality of the output.
Right, so what common element connects using those strict professor commands and avoiding the beginner source mistakes?
I think success comes from forcing the AI to prove its synthesis ability.
To recap the big takeaways from this November 2025 data influx, AI value is specializing, and it's doing it rapidly. We're seeing models like Gemini 3 just dominate technical research, and free tools like Nano Banana dominating creative consistency.
And the fundamental rules of visibility have changed. You can stop worrying about links. Visibility now demands explicit, demonstrable authority across multiple formats, replacing traditional link building entirely. The content creation process is now instant and multi-platform, all thanks to that AI content engine.
So what does this all mean for you as you adapt? If the AI content engine can generate 90% of your content in minutes, the next frontier of human value won't be in creation. It'll be purely and highly specialized curation and critically testing the AI's output, acting like that strict professor demanding proof and synthesis.
That is a great question to ponder as these powerful tools continue to evolve. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the latest AI operations and strategy. Take this knowledge, explore these new free tools, and rethink your content strategy for a world where consistency and authority reign supreme.